Hi guys, welcome back to Dice Down Gaming, my second video. Today I'm going to talk about Warmachine, and the topic conversation is going to be, can it only be played in a cutthroat competitive way? A quick shout out to anyone who watched my first video. Really grateful for the feedback and welcome I've received to the creating content scene. Hopefully today you've not had to watch me sit down. Through the magic of editing, I hopefully worked out how to do that myself. So, the topic, can Warmachine only be played in a really competitive way? My personal feel is no. Cut the video there. If I was clever, I would edit it to a black screen. It would be a very funny joke. I can't do that yet. But why does the game have that perception? Well, first of all, I think a big part of it is the legendary page 5. This was something that was in the Mark 1 maybe, certainly the Mark 2 rulebook. And it was a bit of satire, a bit of a joke, and it had phrases like, play like you've got a pair. This is Warmachine. This is brutal. Use all the rules in your disposal to win the game. The game is about aggression. It came at you like this, super serious, super intense page, no girls allowed. This is a brutal game of combat. And I think that some people may miss the mark. And maybe some people missed it with a bit of a joke. But on the same page, if you weren't playing a game and you saw that from outside, you might get the impression that, wow, this is a bit weird. The opening lines, which for a guy with a lisp is not good to say. Sissies, little girls, and Nancy boys should go home now. This game is not for you. That's in this day and age, you probably wouldn't write that. So for people who didn't quite get this was a joke, or, rightfully so, wasn't in the scene and didn't know that they were going for a bit of a laugh, this might put people off. This might, people think, you read this and you think, damn, do I want to play this game? It's only played in a very competitive, cutthroat way. Do I want to do that? I think that's one of the reasons that perception is stuck around. Because I also see this shared on social media from people, like in this day and age, and this random page 5 random comes up and they share it and you think, wow, you wouldn't write that these days. And from someone looking at it from the outside, it looks a bit suspicious. So I think page 5 went a long way to giving the perception of the sort of game Warmachine is. Secondly, I think clocks. When, Mark 2 is really popular, this is one of the only games that was really played on a chess clock consistently. You had 40k, and maybe in those days you had fantasy. Very much not played on a clock. And I think the clock got a perception that if you're playing on clock, there's no time to be social, there's no time to have a laugh, you get your head down, you're playing the game, you're not engaging with your opponent, and it adds to that whole serious mentality of this is a war game, do everything you can to win. My own experience, I love playing on a clock. For me, a clock makes sure me and my opponent are getting equal time in a round. We've both got the same opportunity to play. I absolutely laugh when I'm on a clock. I have a joke, me and my friends say the stupidest stuff. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're playing a hyper-competitive game. It means that both the players playing are going to have equal chance in a round to play the game. But I think that also added to the perception that it's a tournament game. You've got these guys that are playing this page 5, only one way to play, and they're playing on a clock. Very serious. Thirdly, I think the rule set itself lends to being a tournament game. It's very tight. The randomness in the game is extremely low. There's no 2d6 charge. Try and cast this spell, and if I roll a 5, it doesn't go off. The rule set is so tight that generally the dice you're rolling them in a way that you expect success. You debuff this, you buff this, I positioned here, I'm doing dice rolls which I should expect to succeed. There's not very much of I'm going to roll 3d6, if I get a 14 I win. There are cases of that in Assassination, but I'd say the randomness is low and the rules are really tight. So it lends itself to being played competitively because the rules have very little grey area. And lastly, I think the tournament focus in Mark 2, paired with everything else I just spoke to, added to this this tournament mentality. And from the outside, people would see, I think, the privateer press at the time supported very much organised play. You know, organised play kits, you had press gangs running not just tournaments, but they were running tournaments. I think all this amounted to this perception that Warmachine could only really be played in one way, very competitive. The people that are playing it enjoyed being competitive, and there was no other way to play the game. Do I think that is real? Absolutely not. I have made some of my best friends in life, which I still talk to, see every week. We do the stupidest shit through tabletop gaming, and specifically Warmachine. You know, some of the guys I met in Harlow and Chelmsford, I consider my best friends. And we played Warmachine, sometimes competitively, sometimes we played stupid lists and we wouldn't play on clock and we would have a laugh. But I don't think Warmachine was only ever able to be played in one way. And I actually think moving into the new era of Warmachine, we're seeing much less of a focus on tournament play and much more of a focus on all the other ways to play. So let's take a look at what do we think the future will look like. So first of all, Steamforce Game recently showed, and I might be able to edit like a photo here from their recent sort of keynote speech about 3 ways to play. Miracles could happen. There might be a picture here, and they're supporting, you know, organised play, narrative play, and the hobby side of it. And that's a really positive step for the game. You know, the game does play very well as a tournament game. Is that the only way to play the game? Absolutely not. And Steamforce want to push that in that some people want to play and just drive the story. Some people don't want to play. They just want to do some hobby. Some people want to play beer and pretzels with their friends, a 3-hour game, play some stupid lists, have fun. That's all it comes down to, having fun. So I think we see Steamforce Game pushing towards not just a competitive game, but a holistic approach to the game where everyone can enjoy it. And, you know, I think most people don't want to play a high competitive game. I think most people enjoy the models. They enjoy the fantastic lore. They enjoy playing the game. I'd say that a smaller percentage of people enjoy being competitive, and the rest of the population enjoys the rest of it. Maybe a Warmachine is a bit more 50-50. I know Warmachine tends to attract more competitive people, but all them people being competitive will also enjoy the hobby and playing casual games and doing stupid narrative stuff. And I think actually it's a good time to talk about the perception of competitive people. I myself am a competitive person. I love going to tournaments. I love meeting new people. I love playing new lists. I love writing lists. I love talking about lists. I love dojoing this tech for this list and I'm going to spend 2 points here because that's good against that. I love all of that. But I also love playing the game. I love meeting people. I love meeting new people. As I said before, some of my best friends I've met at tournaments. And going to a tournament for me is as social as it is competitive. I love meeting someone new, asking where they're from, what previous games that they played, what are they playing right now, what's their favourite movie. All of that goes in for me going to a tournament. So playing the games is almost one part of attending a tournament. And I think for most competitive people, there are some bad eggs. Not everyone is perfect. For most competitive people, it's as much about being competitive as it is being social or enjoying the hobby or spending time with friends doing something they love. The game is like a medium to do that, and some people are competitive in doing that and some people aren't. And I think, you know, the last thing is, I think just jump in and try it. A lot of my friends and people I speak to that are new to hobbies, I don't want to go to a tournament. You know, everyone's there to crush me. I'm really nervous. I'll just lose my games. Yes. I lost a lot of games when I started going to tournaments. Apologies. I will soon be able to edit that out, I'm sure. I lost a lot of games when I started going to tournaments. I still lose a lot of games. Maybe I won't edit that out. I still lose a lot of games. But the games that I've played at events, they're some of my favourite games. The people going to events that are competitive are also, most of the time, great people. And I think just going into a tournament and trying it is some of the best ways to engage in that sort of environment, which you may find daunting and you'll find really positive. So this is a bit of an off the script video. I just wanted to record something. I'm really enjoying this process. hoping I can try and get some edit into this video. But the topic is Warmachine only in cutthroat competitive game. Absolutely not. You know, there's people from all aspects in Warmachine playing it for all different reasons. Are the rules absolutely tight? Yes. Does it play really well at a tournament? Yes. Are people that playing it maybe a bit more competitively minded compared to old world? Yes. But it's not the only way to play it. And Steamforce Games are trying to support you in playing multiple ways. So what I would say is it plays really well as a tournament game. Is that the only way to play it? Absolutely not. Thanks for tuning in today. It was an off-script ramble. I'm hoping to get some editing stuff in here to show you my new prowess. And until next time, see you soon, guys.